Has this ever happened to you where you're scrolling on Instagram, you come across some random dude, probably around your age, and you think to yourself, wow, this guy has accomplished more in 18 years than I probably ever will in my life. Maybe they have a mansion, a Lamborghini, and a 10 out of 10 girlfriend, so you do the smart thing, the wise thing for your mental health, which is of course to click on their profile and to stalk them further. And this chain of poor decision making ends up causing you to fall into a spiral of self-doubt, financial envy, with a sprinkle of falling behind. And after 3 hours of stalking this guy, you decide to put your phone down and reflect, in hopes that some of this comparison may motivate you to work harder and make more money. Which obviously didn't work because here we are. But on the bright side, you convince yourself that if you were to ever find yourself in a boxing ring with any of these rich brats, that you would knock them out. If you feel like this, trust me, you're not alone. Even myself, someone with a personal finance channel, I get these feelings from time to time. I'm always looking for ways to improve myself financially. How can I save more money? And do I deserve that double cheeseburger, or should I just stick to the single? And sure, this thought process has benefits where we get to save money and not spend it unnecessarily, but there's no doubt that this financial war goes on in all of our heads, and it can be quite exhausting. But what would help me feel less exhausted is if you were to drop a like on this video, and in exchange, here's a picture of a cute cat. But the good news is that if you're feeling financially behind in life, here are 2 golden tricks that I use and have completely changed my life. So first, it's important to understand why all this comparison happens in the first place, and if it happens with everybody or not. And believe it or not, the entire concept of comparing yourself to others is actually built into us through our evolutionary biology. Whether it be how much money we make, how we look, or who has the biggest biceps, it's all an evolutionary trait that helped us as a species evolve from hunting ferocious, wild, dangerous cows to being able to have some cow delivered to your doorstep with a click of a button via Uber Eats. Think about it, during the hunter-gatherer era, where men were actually men and not overweight, depressed, and confused about their genders, if you were raising a chicken farm next to your neighbor Mufasa, who happens to have bigger and better chickens than you, then maybe naturally you'd think to yourself, gee, Mufasa has some pretty nice chickens, I wonder how he's doing it. Maybe there's something that I can improve in my own farming so I can be as cool as Mufasa. All of this is called the social comparison theory, where we have the inherent need to compare ourselves for this one particular reason. And that is because human beings are incapable of defining themselves independently. And the reason for that is because human beings need to do it in relation to something else. And social comparison has only gotten worse in the last few decades with the evolution of social media, where you can compare yourself to Mufasa, your neighbor, or you can compare yourself to some rich 17-year-old kid in California who has a yacht already. So that begs the question, is the trick just to make a lot of money and belong to the 1%? Because I guess in that case, we wouldn't feel financially behind. Let's imagine a parallel universe called Earth 2.0, where you got lucky and you found a $1 billion idea where you put hats on top of chickens. You're now wealthy beyond your wildest dreams, and instead of living in your mom's basement, you're now in a penthouse in New York City. You finally made it, and now you're feeling like you're on the top of the world, right? Wrong, because now you don't have your brokey friends anymore like Mufasa. Your friends are now A-list celebrities, CEOs of public companies, and people who are just a lot wealthier than you. Just because you're making millions of dollars a year making hats for chickens doesn't mean you can't still feel financially behind, because there's always going to be someone wealthier than you. Take Jeffrey Bezos, for example, inventor of Amazon, one of the most successful people known to man, but even Jeff is financially behind Elon Musk. By the way, Mr. Bezos, if you're watching, here's where it gets really interesting, because here are 2 tricks that you can implement into your own life so that you don't feel behind financially compared to Elon Musk. Firstly, we know that we're designed to compare ourselves to something or to someone to get better and improve, right? Well, the trick is to stop comparing yourself externally. If you constantly compare yourself externally, then you'll bump into some rich 17-year-old millionaire on Instagram and you'll think, why can't I be as wealthy as him? But what you're actually asking underneath the surface level question is, why can't I be fulfilled or as happy as he is? And this is where you're making the cognitive error, believing that happiness and fulfillment is something that you can purchase, because believe it or not, happiness and fulfillment is a state of mind and it has nothing to do with how much you can buy. So instead of looking externally, I want you to start to look internally as a comparison point, and it does get a little confusing, so let me explain. When you look internally, you can start to have real conversations with yourself about your personal finance. What do you need to be fulfilled, and what financial goals do you need to reach to get there? And this way, naturally, you'll start to set internal benchmarks for your personal success, because you won't be comparing yourself to anybody else except yourself. Because personal finance is not a one-size-fits-all approach. What makes your life fulfilling, given your circumstances, may not be be what makes Mufasa the chicken farmer's life fulfilling. But if even after these tricks you're still feeling financially behind, then pay attention. For many forcing people, making more money is always a possibility. You can work overtime, you can switch to a higher paying career, you can start a business, but all of these things happen to have one common factor, and that's that they all require sacrifice. You would have to trade your lifestyle, your time, and your mental health to make more money. So knowing this, you should ask yourself the question, is moving up to the next income tax bracket worth these sacrifices? And if the answer is yes, that's great. Go out there, accomplish your goals, and live your best life. But if the answer is no, then that's fine too. Maybe you won't be making as much money, but you'll be a lot happier and more fulfilled in life. And at the end of the day, if you're not 100% satisfied with your choices, you have the freedom to make adjustments until it works for you. And what I mean is maybe spending more time at home with your kids rather than making more money working overtime at your job. And if you're genuinely content with the decisions that you're making, there's no reason to feel financially behind. And others who may seem financially better off just made different decisions and were willing to accept the sacrifices in exchange for more money. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. If you're watching all the way to the end, you guys are the real ones. Go ahead and comment down below purple unicorn so I know who you are. I'll see you guys next time.